What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time your boy Duty's actually giving you new refreshing content. That's right, this is a new series I've been wanting to do for quite some time, but of course your boy Duty's schedule is extremely busy and it's difficult for him to create new refreshing content. But I'm taking a picture from our boy Phil and making time to create new content for my viewers. So this series I'm calling the Weekend Review. That's right, this series will once a week take a look at our favorite telenovela, which is DSP Gaming. We'll take a look at all the interesting, funny parts that occurred during the work week and highlight them. And of course, we'll have a little bit of clips and we'll do some talking about it. And yeah, so if you guys like this new refreshing content, let me know in the comments field. Let me know if you like the concept, if you find it interesting, any suggestions, anything you think would make it better. Let me know in the comments. And if you don't like it, oh well, not a big deal. I can always I can go back to my lazy old content that I was doing previously. So let's get into it, folks.
Review of the Fallout TV show. I hope you enjoyed it. Whether you were here live or if you watch this on demand, I certainly hope that you enjoyed it equally. And I certainly hope that you guys will join me in the future for Fallout content. I'm strongly considering playing Fallout 4, or at least starting a playthrough of Fallout 4 again when this update comes out in a little over a week. Especially if it has some new content. That sounds pretty exciting. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, I thank you all. Thank you so very much for watching my review of the Fallout TV show. And if you liked this, let me know. Please leave comments on these videos and let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy this or not? It's a new project for me. It's something totally different, and I want to know, content for this channel. I'm trying to get more. If you like this and you want to see more of this, I could do this for other medium. It doesn't have to be just TV shows. So leave some comments. Let me know what you think. Thank you all. See you later.
Alrighty, folks. Of course, the first thing that we're referencing here started on April 17th / the 18th, which was the first incident, which was the first story arc of the work week, which is Fallout series React content, which just fell flat on its face. Our boy Phil spent 2.5 hours regurgitating a summary, which wasn't a summary. It was essentially giving you every specific point in the series. For about an hour and 15 minutes, and then after that he decided to do a conversation with his dents for another hour. Now, as you can see here, our boy Phil hyped this up. He was hyping it up for 2 weeks, and he thought this was going to be fresh and new and original. And of course, he tried to cash in on the Fallout series hype. And how did it do? Well, it fell on his face, pretty much like everything Phil does. He ended up getting $18 in tips, which of that $15 came from Dan the Man. So big up Dan the Man for holding down the stream and giving our boy Phil some money. It was just dead. He got a lot of complaints. People told him, why are you doing a summary of the review? The point was, this review was for people that actually watched the series, that saw the series. And you told people, if you didn't see the series, leave. Don't be here because we're gonna give spoilers. So everyone that was there, for the most part, either didn't give a shit about the Fallout premiere of the series, or already watched it. So for you to give an hour and 15 minutes just kills the fucking mood. You didn't bother interacting with anyone. You just regurgitated what you saw. It was like a fucking book report. Boring. And he's done this before, and people have told him countless times that is not a react. It's not a review. You're just fucking doing a book report. And again, if most of the people that are there already watched it, what's the point of doing a summary? Anyway, this fell flat on its face. The views for it are terrible. I think he ended up getting about 1,000 views so far for the first video, and then 916 views for the second video. So I doubt we're ever going to see this ever again. So big ups to Phil for trying something, I guess, new, and failing like always.
Tipped me $10 and wants to know why I didn't read his full message yesterday. 1MinMan is very simple, because your full message yesterday had a political stuff in it. That's why. And as you know, this is not DSP politics. I have no intention of starting DSP politics. I don't want to start DSP politics at all. At this point, I've talked about it that in the future, perhaps I would. And of course, there's been a big debate about would I ever do political content. Literally, the second half of one of your tips yesterday was 100% white hot political contentious stuff. And I was not going to read that. Like I talked about all the stuff you talked about Fallout, right? And we talked about the actors and everything. But I was not going to be doing political stuff. And by the way, it's not you. I do that with everyone. There's a lot of people that try to stir this stream or content towards political things. And I refuse to do it. I have a right to decide what I want to do in my content. This is a gaming channel. This is meant to be talked about pop culture and gaming and stuff like that. You know, it's not meant to be political content in any way, shape, or form. Not for now. Every once in a while, we get a story that crosses the borders. For example, the TikTok story, that's pop culture, that's social media, that does involve gaming to some extent. It involves a lot of things. That's a story that's worth talking about. But some of the stuff that you said yesterday in one of the tips literally went to the point where it had nothing to do with the subject matter. It was 100% political. And I was like, I'm not going there because all it's going to do is cause problems. The same reason we don't have major religious discussions in my content. I've always had that policy that politics and religion are kind of off the table unless it is highly involved or ingrained in something having to do with gameplay, right? If we're playing a game and politics is part of the subject matter, that's one thing.
Okay, so the second incident here happened on April 20th during the podcast where our boy 1MinMan wage quit our boy Phil. That's right. And a little bit before this, I think the day before or maybe the same day, our boy Agent Proper put a video out there where apparently 1MinMan, aka Planet Jeff, was doxxed. So many people think the reason for him wage quitting our boy Phil was partly because of the doxing, and he saw this as an excuse. The one thing I want to talk about is you're a fucking coward, Phil. You've talked about doing DSP politics. You've talked about politics and religion whenever it suited you. But when someone, especially someone that's giving you average $7,000 to $8,000 a year, makes a point in a tip, and you decide not to read it because you're scared that the dents in your chat are going to revolt or it's going to cause drama, that is the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. And yet you're planning to do a DSP politics channel, Phil? That's the point of talking politics, is taking a side and, yes, pissing other people off. That's the fucking point. The point is to give your opinion, and if it's going to stir white noise or problems or fights or whatever, then so be it. You don't have the stomach for it, Phil, and you should just stop talking politics altogether. You should stop talking about a lot of things, but politics in specific. And right here, because of your stupidity here, you lost the person that probably has given you the most money in 5 or 6 years, and probably longer than that. I'm not sure how long Planet Jeff and 1Minute or /1MinMan has been tipping, but this is years and years of support, and you threw it all away because you refused to read his fucking comment. Did you really think that people were going to say, oh, 1MinMan left this comment about politics, regardless of what the comment was, so Phil must agree with those stance? No, Phil, no one's going to do that. You can give your opinion on the politics of what 1MinMan said, or you can just read it out and just say, okay, well, thanks for sharing that. I really don't have an opinion, and move the fuck on. I'm assuming what 1MinMan said completely disagreed with your political view. And of course, whenever there's any dissent in DSP gaming world or DSP's world, he shuts that shit the fuck down, regardless of who you are. Regardless if you're his sugar daddy, forking out thousands and thousands of dollars a fucking year, you know, in Phil's pockets, he doesn't give a shit. He's not gonna let anyone fucking bring up something that he disagrees with. That's just Phil in a nutshell. And what ended up happening, and I'm assuming what he thought was going to happen, was that 1MinMan was just going to come back and continue tipping and then move on. Even if he was angry for one day, he would just move on, and the next day he would see his usual $20 tip. Did that happen? Sorry, folks. I'm here to report that it did not. It's been 5 days, and 1MinMan has not tipped. No one has seen him, and apparently the doxing was true, was accurate. And I'm guessing that he just used this excuse to wage quit Phil. He used the politics tip email just as an excuse to leave Phil. Will we see him again? Maybe. We may see a new iteration of 1MinMan. He'll definitely probably call himself something else and come back because, of course, you know, we have these dented ass individuals like 1MinMan and OIC that just for whatever reason, they love. They have they have some type of fetish where they just enjoy being shit on. And they'll be back. They'll be back. So I expect 1MinMan to be back. If not, it's been real. You have been supporting the channel for many years and propping up Phil. But again, the other thing I want to point out is that Phil is his own worst fucking enemy. He is. And anyone that ever comes into Phil's world that becomes a pay pig or supports him always leaves. Why? Because of something Phil did. Look at King Be Cruel. Look at Arkham Edits, who was doing his shorts and asked for a couple dollars, and he fucking banned them without even talking to him. It's Phil always does something to upset the people that support him, and they eventually leave. Even OIC one day will get tired of Phil's bullshit and move on from him and go support another fucking content creator that's probably even worse than Phil.
My wife just doesn't feel good today. We were all, again, gung-ho to do it today. And last night, Kat says, my stomach doesn't feel good. I was like, what? Really? Because we were eating the same food or whatever. And then basically she had, like, bad stomach pain. And she didn't get a good sleep last night, which I was worried. I actually posted up last night on Twitter and on the community tab of this page to warn everyone she wasn't feeling good, just so everyone kind of knew that this was going on. And yeah, she basically didn't have a very good night. And, you know, woke up today and she's not feeling good. She's probably going to be resting most of today. And it's like, well, I guess we shouldn't do the co-op today. I mean, she's even going to not be making as elaborate of a meal for dinner. Like, she was going to make something to bake in the oven. She's like, no, I'm just going to do something quick on stovetop today. You know, I'm not feeling too good. So,
husband of the year, folks. Even though his wife is, air quotes, sick, he's still making her fat ass get up and cook fucking meals. Sure, Phil. Sure, Phil. Okay, this happened on August 20th, the very same day that 1MinMan rage quit. Apparently, our girl Fat Cat rage quit the co-op with Phil. Yet again, the third time in less than a couple weeks. And again, another lame fucking excuse. Phil, why don't you get the hint that your wife doesn't want to do it for whatever reason? She's either shy, she either has anxiety, she's stressed out, maybe she's worried about her weight, maybe she doesn't like people trashing her on the internet. You won't get the fucking hint. You won't get this hint that she's lying to you about being sick because she just doesn't want to be on stream. Pathetic, man. And that just leaves you to fucking sit there and come up with these lame fucking excuses. She said, and mind you, he posted this a day before the actual co-op was supposed to happen. He put a post out there and said, oh, by the way, my wife's not feeling well. She has a stomach ache. And we all knew what was going to happen right there. As soon as we heard that, we said, yep, that's going to be a fucking rage quit, and we're never going to see Kat again. And to Phil's credit, he finally gave up and said, fuck it. I'm not going to reschedule it because we're putting this on hiatus. And whenever Phil says hiatus, it's never gonna happen. Remember, he put what was that game? Several games. I'm not sure what it was. About a year and a half ago, he said he was putting on a hiatus, and that shit never saw the light of day again. Also, with Final Fantasy the new Final Fantasy, how many times did he say he's gonna go back to that? No, he's actually playing Fallout 4 and Elden Ring when there's a perfectly good game that he can finish. And of course, he put that on hiatus, and we'll never see that again. Very much like Final Fantasy VII. We're never going to see Fat Cat ever again. Maybe in 5 years.
why am I so angry? Because if you were told for 10 years that you're doing something wrong, for 10 years, you were told you're the one who's doing everything incorrectly, why don't you just listen to reason? And then the day you're actually going to make amends and change and try to do the thing that people have said this is the right thing to do, you get told, oh no, you can't do it anyway. How would you feel? It doesn't even matter that's FightCade. This could have been anything, right? I don't know, you know? No, you see, FightCade is something that the FGC is heavily into and has been. So if you're in the FGC, you probably know about FightCade. Outside of that, you probably never heard of it. It's not something that you would hear. It's not advertised. It's not something that they're trying to get tons of people to use or anything like that, right?
April 23rd, our boy DSP rage quit FightCade. That's right. For 10 years, his chat has been telling him, hey, why don't you play FightCade? You claim to be a Street Fighter aficionado. Play FightCade. It's where all of the good players play classic Street Fighting games. Have at it. And for 10 years, Phil has said no. Mainly because, yes, a lot of people that are in the FGC actually play FightCade. They do. And they like playing old classic games. So Phil knew that if he would log in and play FightCade, he would face a lot of good FGC players. And you think he looks terrible when he plays Street Fighter now? Imagine playing on PC. Imagine playing with people that have, modded joysticks, modded keyboards, and Phil just getting clapped over and over. That was the main reason why he decided to rage quit FightCade. It wasn't because the VPN. He was concerned that people would get his VPN. People would get his IP. It wasn't the issue that he complained that he couldn't get a VPN because it costs money. It wasn't any of that. It was he knew that if he got on FightCade, he would just lose and look terrible. And especially when Phil prides himself on being an amazing classic Street Fighter player. That's his wheelhouse. It's like Al Bundy and the 4 touchdowns in one game. How many times has Phil talked about his win at EVO? His 4th place placing. And him coming on FightCade and playing these classic games would just show that he's fucking terrible. Right now, previously he would play it on arcades because he would use the excuse of lag, buggy netcode, no one's playing, the trolls are trolling, what have you. And with FightCade, not sure he could have said that. And I'm sure that a lot of people in the FGC that know about Phil would have come after him and would have beat him like a rank dog and made fun of him and made utter fun of him. So Phil used this excuse of an IP exposure to rage quit FightCade. So we'll never see FightCade again. That shit is gone. And the other thing, it screwed up his plan for the next marathon, which he was going to do a fighting feast. He can't do that because he was hoping or claiming he was going to use FightCade to do that. And when he put it up for a poll the next day, the Dents didn't give a shit. They're like, no, we don't care about you playing old Street Fighter games. No one gives a shit. They rather watch a rage-a-thon, whatever the hell that is. So anyway, the Dents, you guys screwed up for not telling Phil about all the problems with FightCade. Even though this is the business owner, right? Phil is the business owner. He's the man that runs a business streaming games. And yet he never fucking bothers to put any effort or time to research something before coming out and agreeing to play it. He's had over a year to research FightCade and how you set it up and so on. He could have done test runs over and over many times, and he refused to. Why? Because he's lazy. He's fucking lazy. So when shit like this happens, of course, your boy Duty loves to watch it and make fun of him.
Guys, what did you think? Did you like it? I mean, I'm having a good time. I'm getting re-immersed in the world. It's been a while since I played Fallout. It's definitely been a while since I played Fallout 4, right? And I hope you enjoyed. Again, thanks to those who super chatted tonight. We got like 60 or some bucks of super chats tonight, which is very nice for the stream. So, all right. Well, guys, that is it for my week of streams. Remember, I'm not here tomorrow because of my day off for the week. I'm returning on Friday, and the first stream on Friday will be a new game premiere, Another Crab's Treasure. It's this new Souls-like game starring a hermit crab. I don't know if it's going to be good. I hope it will be, but I'm going to try that. And then Saturday night is Friday Night Fights, more Zangief gameplay in Street Fighter 6. If you want more Fallout 4, Saturday's daytime stream. So not the night stream like tonight, but the daytime stream. 3 hours of Fallout 4 with the new whatever update or mod it is. Okay?
April 25th, folks. FallGout 4 premiere disaster. That's right, our boy Phil played Fallout 4. And of course, hyped this up again, very much like the Fallout series, Reack. He hyped it up for weeks. And yet, the 25th, the night stream, was the big premiere. And what happened? Our boy Phil ended up bringing in 700 viewers, which was mostly trolls and LARPers. And he managed to pull in a whopping $20 in tips, which of course, $10 came from some dent called PS3 Troop. Yeah, that was a bit of a fucking disaster. And not only that, he was flooded with more Argentinian memberships, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, the one interesting thing about this story arc was the outcome of it. So no one cared and no one gave a shit about this playthrough, as you could tell by support. The next day, though, something interesting did happen. So apparently our boy Phil's first video went viral, as Phil claimed. He got 21,000 views, and then the second one only got 1,200. Which, if you look at it, I mean, okay, there could be a possibility that Phil's video did get a lot of views. I mean, that's probably the most views he's gotten in probably 10 years on any video. But if you actually look a little bit deeper, you'll see here that the first one got 21,000 in 12 hours, but he only had 157 likes. Only 157 likes, and I believe he only had like 35 comments. When you compare that to a video that I make, like I actually posted that if you take a look at one of my videos, I made about 15,000 views. I got 700 likes, and I ended up getting about 500 comments. So I found that extremely strange. Now, what could it be? It could be view botting. We know Phil, before his channel, his streams have been view botted. They've been sub botted. It's nothing new. So am I saying Phil actually view botted this stream? No, I'm not saying that. Could have been one of his dents that did it. Yeah, one of his dents could have done it. It doesn't cost much to view bot. I believe the prices, you can go to any website that does the view bots and pay like $30 or $40 for 15,000 views, which is very easy to do. It's not that very expensive. And if you're handy enough, you can actually write a macro to actually do the view things. The one thing you have to look at is that every time a video, so a view is when someone watches a video for 30 seconds or more. Once you watch it for 30 seconds, it counts as a view. So it's easy to write a macro that every 30 seconds, you refresh the page and watch the video again. Especially if you have a VPN address, it doesn't register, but it will register the view. That's how a lot of these kind of view bots things work. So am I saying he view botted? No, I'm not saying he is. Could have it happened? Yeah, it could have happened. It could have. Now, the interesting thing here is if you take a look at the second video, which was posted the same time, 12 hours, he only had 1,170 views. Now, that's kind of in keeping with Phil whenever he does something new. Got 24 likes, and I believe he had like 3 comments. That was it. Now, you know, these two videos were published at the same time. And if something like that would blow up, based on the way YouTube does it, this video should have popped up next after the first video as a recommended. But apparently no one bothered watching. So either it was view botted and, you know, people, they watched for 30 seconds and then clicked off, or they found the first playthrough so fucking boring that they didn't even bother watching the second one. Based on his likes ratio in the comments, that could be the case. So yeah, you know, he kind of got a mini win there, and he thinks he went viral, but when you actually look at it a little bit closer, it actually looks quite fucking pathetic.
That stuffs me. Why? Because it's loot. Because it's top tier loot. I can't do an anti-air to loot. Did he earn it? No, he didn't. He didn't earn it at all. I give up. You earn nothing. You earn literally nothing. He earned 0 hits. It's because it's top tier loot. Give him a free jump in that beats everything for no good reason. That was up ball. She wins. She all wins because they give me reversal up ball. During the opening to do it, it doesn't come out. She literally wins just by drop move input. Drop.
The Argentinian Detractors, that's right. The overarching arc for DSP Gaming telenovela was the return of the Argentinian Detractors. And it started on the 17th and ran the whole week. And as you can see here, big ups to Hulk Hogan's Big Taint for coming out and dropping that 50. Phil struggled this whole week trying to stop the Argentinian Detractors, which he couldn't. And you guys watch my video. I prove that it doesn't matter whether he deletes or bans a person that gifted memberships. If it gets charged, the memberships actually go out. YouTube partner support confirmed that, and it's something that I knew already. So it doesn't matter. The only thing it does is it just stops flooding Phil's channel with all of the messages. That's all it does. But of course, Phil does receive those memberships. And the Argentinian Detractors came out back in January and flooded our boy Phil's channel and put a hurting on the guy. They did. They hurt him in the pocket really bad. He ended up getting about, I think, 1,500 members, and he thought he was going to get all this money. On his YouTube check, and then literally a week after that started, he realized, I'm not getting any money. What the hell is going on? And then I'm guessing one of the dents told him, hey, these are Argentinian memberships. They're pennies. You're not going to make out. You're not going to make out with the money you thought it was. And that happened for about 2 or 3 weeks, where Phil's channel was bombarded with memberships. And as you can actually see, if you can actually see Phil's streams every day, he doesn't even count memberships anymore. He doesn't even have it on his leaderboard. He can care less about it. And he's hoping that the detractors from Argentina just go away because he thinks they don't get any recognition. The reason why they're doing this, Phil, is to hurt you financially and to flood your channel with these memberships so that people don't have to actually buy memberships. If you're not sure how this works, right now, if someone gives 50 gifted memberships, it costs that person $200. So essentially, Phil would receive 70% of the $200. So he would get roughly $140 from that $200. That's what he would get. So if he gets 1,000 members, you can time that out by you could time 1,000 members at $200. You can see how that really adds up. But when the Argentinian Detractors buy these memberships, it literally costs penny. Depending on the VPN you use and where the ping point is, it costs roughly $2 for 100 memberships. So I did a quick breakdown of what Phil encountered this week with the Argentinian memberships. And I posted it on Twitter. Here you go right here, folks. And I did a nice little meme here where you can actually see some of the Argentinian detractor names that came out in full force. Like, big up, if only Linda Burnell had swallowed versus Cream Pie. Hulk Hogan's Big Taint. There were tons of them. Derek IP is a PDF. Handily was 17. Cat's mother performed an exorcism on Fat Cat. Cat cheated on Superman with Phil and got beat. Let's see. Tip Phil, I need DoorDash. Love Fat Cat. Cat Burnell's Lucky Brand part-time employee. These just bombarded Phil's chat, and it was just fucking hilarious. It was great. So I did a breakdown here, and it looked like the Argentinian Detractors dropped 1,200 memberships on Phil for the week for a grand total of $13.68 US. So that essentially is what Phil made. That's what Phil made for all of these gifted memberships, $13.68. Now, after YouTube's cut and taxes, Phil walked away with a cool $7.66 in his YouTube check. Now, if you do the math, folks, 1,200 1,200 regular memberships, right, would have netted Phil $4,800. Now, you take 30% away from $48, and we're talking about $3,400. So instead of Phil making $3,400 off of 1,200 memberships, Phil only made $7.66. And that, folks, is why Phil detests the Argentinian Detractors more than any other detractor out there. This is actually a LARP that really hurts Phil. Now, I've told you guys, I don't tell detractors how to detract. You detract the way you want to detract, as long as you're not breaking the law. I can give a shit. And if you want to give Phil money, so be it. I don't agree with it. I don't think anyone should give Phil any money. But if you want to LARP and give him some money for something, whatever. You do you. This right here, though, this LARP, this situation here really hurts Phil. Now, for, you know, spending a couple dollars versus doing $2 super chats or doing dollar tips, and there are people out there that do $10 to $12 tips every day just to LARP on Phil. Instead of doing that, doing this, paying this kind of money to really hit Phil. Not only are you LARPing, your message gets out because Phil can't block the message. The message gets out, you hurt him in the pocket, and of course you hurt the business. So this is, and again, I'm not telling anyone to do this. Your boy Duty's not condoning or accepting this. I'm not telling people what to do, but this type of LARP and troll is one of those that really makes sense. So anyway, folks, that's it. This week has been fire. The writers for season 16 have just been chef's kiss, folks. This week, what can we expect? We can probably see more Argentinian Detractors, and of course, low support because Phil is going to be playing boring Game Pass games. Instead of playing Stellar Blade, which everyone is hyped about, he's playing Fallout 4 and Crab's Treasure, a Game Pass game. Anyway, next week should be just fucking lovely. We can expect a lot of the LARPers and trolls asking Phil to play Stellar Blade and him losing his shit. And of course, we might see the return of 1MinMan, but who knows. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like this content, let me know in the comments. If you need me to modify something or change it, if you thought it was too long, if you thought it was too short, let me know. Your boy Duty is here to please and produce that sweet, sweet content, which will give him sweet, sweet ad revenue. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.